Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, it is time to talk Jets. Salutes and respect to all Jets fans out there. We are going to be recapping the NFL draft. Okay, we're going to be recapping the New York Jets NFL draft picks. Let's go. It is time to talk that talk. We're going to have that discussion tonight. All right, the number is 515-602-9639. Call in, okay? Blog Talk actually works. Wow, I'm shocked. Blog Talk, you stink. Oh. You stink, Blog Talk. Been missing in action for quite a long time, and tonight it works. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, and I am surprised. Blog Talk, you're flushed. So flushed. We've missed so many shows. So many. Goodness gracious. Blog Talk bashing will be allowed, okay, on this episode. Say what you need to say. I've already told you, they are trash. But you know what's not trash? The New York Jets and Joe Douglas. And we're going to get to everything that's been done. There's been trades, not just in the draft, but outside of the draft. There's been so many things happening with the New York Jets, undrafted free agents. Again, we'll be speaking about the Jets draft picks. I'm fired up, so let me get into the show. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, give me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? I appreciate all y'all. I'm also on Twitter as well. At The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. All right. Follow your boy. I'll follow you right back. I love going back and forth with all of y'all. I get in a lot of arguments on Twitter. I do. I get in a lot. I don't know why. I'm not trying to do this. Right? I make a point. People sometimes can't counter it. They want to go crazy on me. They want to argue with me. People DM me. They want to argue with me there. I enjoy it. I also have a lot of great conversations that aren't just arguments. I welcome all of them, even the arguments. I don't mind it. You know, as long as it remains respectful arguments, I'm all about that too. So at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, all right? Also, I'm on iTunes. Everyone going over to iTunes, type in The Long Beach Joe Show. The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast on there. Leave me a five-star rating, and give me some feedback, all right? I want to thank everybody that does that, okay? Everybody gives the boy feedback. Let me know what you think about what I'm doing over here, man. And, again, I want to thank everybody that listens, no matter where you're from, especially my overseas folks. I got people that listen to me from Germany that love going back and forth with me, people in Ireland, all the people in the UK, everywhere, okay? Alaska, Canada, everywhere. I want to thank every last one of y'all for listening to the show and interacting with your boy as well. I appreciate all of y'all. And salute and respect to my overseas, gentlemen and ladies, okay? I appreciate y'all. Now, speaking of connecting, for those of you that do not know, we live stream the show as well. Yes, we live stream the show on YouTube. Your boy's on YouTube. Come on over to YouTube, okay? Type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, all right? That's the channel. You go there. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you will be in the know. Give the videos and streams a thumbs up as well and share them across your social media with your friends and your family. I appreciate all of y'all that do that. But keep in mind when you come on over here, man, because we live stream that show, you're going to deal with some people, all right? I call my chat because that's what they are. Those are people you're going to deal with. I call my chat the savages. You want to know why? Because they're savage. Listen, man, they don't give a crap about anything, all right? And if they don't like your take, if they don't like what you're bringing to the table, trust and believe, they're going to let you know, all right? They're going to let you know, hey, it is what it is, all right? No one's safe, not even me, okay? Not even me. I'm not even safe. They don't like my take, they let me know, trust, all right? So please come over, join us. Salute to all the savages in the chat. Michael, I see you in the building. He said, Blog Talk blows. Yes, you're correct. Michael is correct, okay? Todd, salute to you as well. Captain K, I see you in the building. Salutes to all of y'all. Christopher Phillips, I see you as well. We're going to be having the discussion tonight, okay? The lines are hot. We're going to get to everybody. Trust me, I'm going to quickly now just talk about the Jets draft, cover some of the news. It's going to be very quick, and we're going to the lines. I know I have new callers tonight. When you call in, listen, I can physically see you, okay? Just wait, and we'll get to every last one of you, okay? If I don't know you by name, I'm going to call out your area code, okay? I hope you know what your area code is, okay? Because when I call out your area code, that means I'm coming to you, and we're going to have the discussion. Again, for my new callers, I do not allow cursing on my show, okay? I know all of you are super intelligent. You can operate without that. So just, please be warned. There's no cursing. I'll give you a warning if it's not, super crazy, but if it's wild, I will move on from you. So do not curse on my show, okay? So that's what it is, a family show. So quickly, we're going to get to the moves that have been made with the New York Jets. There was a draft, ladies and gentlemen. There was an NFL draft, and boy, did we have some fun, right? We saw the New York Jets make a trade from 10 to 11 with the Vikings, gather some capital, a fourth and a fifth rounder from the Vikings, gave a sixth rounder to the Vikings as well, which, we moved to 11. They moved up to 10, took a quarterback that they coveted. We ransomed him and got that. And then we actually ended up taking Olu Fashanu. I myself am hyped about him. I like the pick, okay? But I know there's a lot of people that don't. And we're going to be discussing that tonight. 515-602-9639, okay? The Bauer boys, not happy about this, okay? And trust and believe, I have heard about this ad nauseum about how much they don't like it, all right? But me, myself, I'm excited about the pick. I like Olu Fashanu. I talked about, him and Fuaga as well, or offensive line in general being who I wanted to have, on this Jets football team. I think this is a smart decision. I think this decision is about protecting Aaron Rodgers. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that question this decision and think that he's just going to be some backup tackle or whatever. Not true, especially when you look at the health of our offensive line. Tyron Smith is not going to play a full season. You can't convince me of that. I expect this guy to play at least maybe 4 or 5 games, if not more, this upcoming season. But if he doesn't, okay, cool. He's the tackle for the future, and he's a damn good tackle, let me tell you. He's going to be pretty good in this league, especially when you look at some of the traits that he has. He's a great pass blocker. He reminds me a lot of Ferguson, very smooth. And he's going to be able to step into this situation and do what he needs to do, especially with Tyron Smith being a player that, he talked about wanting to emulate a lot, especially coming up. Now he gets to, sit with Tyron Smith and all these veteran offensive linemen, get coached up, and then when his time comes, he'll be the guy stepping in. Keep in mind, Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, both guys on a 1-year deal. Tyron Smith, if we move on from him, Olu's going to be able to step in. This move was about securing your present and also stepping up and securing your future as well, because Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be here for at least maybe 1 more year, 2 more years, maybe. If not, guess what? We have to have a tackle be able to secure our future and block the blind side of our next quarterback, whether it be young, and Olu will be that guy for the next 10 years. This works out. So I like this. I like this draft pick. We're going to be talking about that all tonight because I know the Bauer boys are upset. The New York Jets also drafted Malachi Corley as well in the 4th round, and this was after, trading up. Excuse me, he was taken in the top of the 3rd round after trading up. The New York Jets moved up to get the 65th pick, in the draft, and they actually traded with the Panthers because the Panthers took the 72nd pick, which was a 3rd-round pick from the Jets, and they also took pick 157, and the New York Jets took Malachi Corley, which was, I think, a great move. He's a physical wide receiver. He's 5'11", but his after-the-catch stuff is insane. This guy's basically like a running back. Once he catches the ball, he's a running back, and he takes off and does his thing. He's a guy that just racks up yak yards. A lot of people call him, Debo Samuels. A lot of people like to talk about him, being a guy like Golden Tate. I look at Jarvis Landry. He's got a lot of those guys' traits in his game. Man, he's a guy that also forced 40 missed tackles. I mean, this guy is just a monster when he gets the ball in his hands. And to me, I look at this situation and I say that this guy's a Weapon X. He's a Weapon X. Anybody remember all of the times that the New York Jets were talked about as looking for that Weapon X within their offense, right? It was supposed to be Elijah Moore. We all know that didn't work out. And then there was various other guys who were supposed to be that Weapon X guy, the guy that you can come in and put a package together and make things happen. Well, if Malachi Corley, I'm telling you, once they get him rolling, get him within the offense, I think this is good, right? This is a great look for the New York Jets. And to me, when I see him, he's going to be a monster in the screen game. He's going to be a monster in the screen game. And he's also going to be a guy that's going to be utilized in the role where, the Patriots, they used to throw those quick outs to the flats, right? Quick out to the flats, and then you get rolling, right? And the reason why that's so important is you can utilize a lot of those things to supplement your running game, to kind of change the pace. I believe that the New York Jets are definitely going to be a team that's going to pound the rock this upcoming season. And when you do stuff like that, with quick screens, stuff quickly out to the flats, a lot of RPO stuff, things like that, it eases the load on your quarterback and creates a lot of easy completions as well. Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. We all know how much I love Aaron Rodgers. I was called a closet Packer fan for years because of my love for Aaron Rodgers. Now he's a New York Jet, right? But Aaron Rodgers is 40, man. You can't expect this guy to come out and throw for 350 every single game to the New York Jets offense in a situation to be winners, okay? You want to ease the load up on him and put him in a lot of, manageable third downs, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, stuff like that. That's a good look. And Malachi Corley is a guy that's going to be able to do those things. And it's going to be a really, really good change of pace for the New York Jets offense because it gives us kind of a multifaceted offense where you have weapons in every single direction. Of course, you got Garrett Wilson. Of course, you got Mike Williams, right? Who knows what we're going to get out of Allen Lazard at this point. But you got guys, that can definitely, dominate other spots of the field. But then you got Malachi Corley, who's going to be able to come out. And when teams see him, they're going to be like, whoa, what are we getting? The thing with him, though, is I want to see him, continue to develop as a wide receiver. He's a young guy, of course, rookie. We just drafted him. But if we can end up putting Malachi Corley out there on 2 receiver sets, that is going to blow the minds of defenses. Because then at that point, they're going to be like, oh, man, this guy's not just a package guy. He's not just a gadget and gadget guy. This is a guy that we really have to worry about. So when he steps out on the field, it's not transparent what the New York Jets are trying to do at all. Now we're in a trick bag, and defense is going to have a lot of trouble. So I really like Malachi, really like what he brings to the table. Again, what he's going to be able to do, man, I'm just hoping Nathaniel Hackett's going to be able to scheme correctly. But again, with Aaron Rodgers into the fold, I expect this guy to be utilized, pretty heavily, right? So the New York Jets also, made some moves. Rounds 4 through 7, man, they make some picks that I thought was solid as well. Joe Douglas also made another trade, okay, in the 4th with the Packers. He gave them pick 11. They gave the New York Jets pick 126. Also gave him a 6th-round pick as well. And then at 126, he made another trade, which was unbelievable. He traded the 4th-round pick away, right? Gave the Detroit Lions pick 126, and was able to get a 2025 3rd-round pick. Wow, man. Talk about value, baby. Talk about value, right? Like, that's insane. That's insane. So many trades. So many things have benefited the New York Jets, right? Oh, man. And then we still had a 4th-round pick, right, because of Baltimore, the deal that we had done with Baltimore. We had Baltimore's 4th. We ended up taking Braylon Allen. I wasn't shocked, right? We all talked about running back possibly being in the fold there. A lot of people wanted to go get a veteran running back, but here we are. We got a young guy, and Braylon Allen he's a monster. This is a big back. This is a guy that's a bruiser. He's going to run through you. He's 6'2", 235. The man squatted over 600 pounds. He is not a game. He is not a joke. Again, this, to me, screams the fact that the Jets are going to run the ball. He's a change of pace back, that short yardage back that's really going to beat up a defense and make it very easy, right, for Breece Hall and to really get off, okay? Thunder and lightning. This man's the thunder, okay? That man's the thunder, all right? Also in the 5th round, the New York Jets took Jordan Travis, quarterback out of Florida State. I really like this kid. He's coming off of an ankle injury, a broken ankle. He actually had to have surgically repaired, so he's still healing coming up from that. There's a lot of things he needs to work on, right? Doesn't have the strongest arm, but this guy's a playmaker. So when that ankle heals up, he's gonna really be able to go. And he's put in a position where clearly he doesn't have to start. Aaron Rodgers is here. You also got Tyrod Taylor. So he's going to be able to really sit back, soak up the game, soak up the offense, and, get schooled. This is a guy that has a lot of potential. There was a lot of talk before that ankle injury of him, being a fairly high draft pick, right? So I'm excited about him as well, and especially his playmaking ability. His athleticism, how he can move within the pocket, how he can move outside the pocket as well and make plays, is going to be, something to watch when he gets his chance and get his time. So Jordan Travis, I thought, was a solid pick. The Jets also took Isaiah Davis, running back from South Dakota State, in the 5th round. I was a little shocked by this. Two running backs in the draft, right? But we've seen this before, right? Sulla, when he was in San Francisco, they had a myriad of backs in the system. With Nathaniel Hackett here. Like I said, I think the Jets are really going to be running the football heavy this upcoming year. And with this young back right here, man, a lot of talk about him. Again, he's another guy, 6'1", 218. He's a plotting runner. He's a bruiser. There's a lot of talk about him possibly competing for that fullback spot. So Baldwin, he better wake up, okay? I'm not saying he's been solid, but this guy is serious business. So he could also be a guy that the Jets hand the ball off to as well. In the 6th round, the Jets took Quantez Stiggers. This is a guy that's very interesting. He's from the CFL. Played with the Argonauts, right? He has no college experience at all, but this was a guy that really put some things together in the CFL. He's 5'11", ran a 4.4 40. This guy also had 5 interceptions and was named the most outstanding defensive rookie in the CFL. They also did interviews with him as well. Very bright guy. Talked about how he's ready to come in, learn, understand the system. He wants to work out the gate. Of course, CFL, they're doing work out there. He understands how to prepare in a professional setting. So you look at this situation, man, he's already talked about how he wants to be Sauce Gardner's best friend. Okay? He wants to learn from Sauce, and he's ready to go. Listen, DJ Reed, Sauce, Michael Carter II, I'm very sure that they will be more than inviting to this guy. So I'm excited to see him into the building as well. And in the 7th round, Mr. Irrelevant, Jalen Key, safety from Alabama. We got us a Bama boy in the building, all right? Listen, man, 6'1" safety. He's very physical, right? This is a guy that has a lot of toughness. He's slow, all right, but he's got a lot of toughness. He's not afraid to stick his face in there. He's not afraid to go out there and handle business. He's a guy that comes down and he lays the lumber. He is not a joke. This is a guy that I think is going to be really, really solid on special teams, and I'm excited about him being in the building as well. There's a lot of undrafted free agents. I can name a million of them, okay? A lot of guys that we were able to sign as well that I want to talk about too. Braden McGregor, the edge from Michigan. Tyler Harrell is a guy that I really, really highlight too. This guy's a burner. This guy, I'm telling you, if we can really put it together with him, he's a guy that really is going to be explosive. You put him on the field, he can take the top off of defense. The production isn't there. I think he only had like 4 catches in 2023. But we can come in and he can work with us, man, and I'm really excited about this young kid as well. We'll be talking about him tonight too. We also got Leonard Taylor as well from Miami. This guy it's crazy. He went undrafted. A lot of people had a mid-round grade on him. Before 2023, 2022, he had a very productive season. He came into 2023 season. There was a lot of people saying he would be a first-round guy. And then as the season played on, a lot of people were saying maybe mid-rounds, but there was a lot of issues, right, in 2023. A lot of people talking about how Miami played him out of position, didn't utilize him effectively as well within their defense. A lot of ways that they try to scheme to utilize him just wasn't fair for what he does well. But here he is, right? And this guy, I'm telling you, there's so many scouts that talk about how he has a elite trait, come in here and be a very good edge rusher. And the way that the New York Jets utilize their defensive linemen, he can benefit greatly from. So I'm extremely excited, especially with some of the moves that we've made upon our roster. He's a guy that could end up pushing to make the active roster for the New York Jets. So I'm excited about him. We also got Tyreek Johnson from South Carolina, edge as well, another undrafted free agent that we picked up. Anthony Sermon from California, Jimmy Carrillo from the Army, another great linebacker. We got a Tulane corner, all right, Jarvis Monroe. Good move for us there. Shaheem Battle as well from North Carolina, another corner. We also got Trey Jenkins from San Jose State, safety. So we got some undrafted guys that I think can make an impact here. But, again, Leonard Taylor and Tyler Harrell I'm extremely excited about. We also made some moves as well on the roster, man. We actually ended up trading John Franklin Myers to the Denver Broncos for a 2026 sixth-round pick. I know some people are shocked. I'm not. Here's the deal, man. John Franklin Myers, solid guy within our rotation, right? But he was going to cost a lot, man. This move saved the New York Jets $13 million on the cap. $13 million. Jeez, man. Especially when you look at the situation where we got Hassan Riddick into the building, who's an elite edge in this year. He's in the last year of his deal. I'm very, very sure when you look at this deal, it clearly tells you that the New York Jets are trying to get some cap space up in here so that they can make sure that they extend Hassan Riddick and keep him here for years to come, right? So I think that this move was more about, dumping some salary. He goes on to Denver, and it is what it is. I'll tell you what, though. You look at this rotation now. You got Jermaine Johnson, who's coming off of a Pro Bowl year. You got Will McDonald. You got, Reddick into the building. There's a guy that needs to step up within the rotation. It's Michael Clemens. Michael Clemens got to clean it up. All right, a lot of penalties last year, especially stupid penalties at critical times during games. Also, there were some fights as well he got himself into. You got to cut out the emotional responses during games and go out there and take care of business. So, John Franklin Myers goes to the Broncos, and, we get that cap cash back, and we also get a pick. So it's a good move for the Jets. You also look at AVT, man. AVT got that fifth-year option, right? I'm excited about it. We were all talking about it. In 2025, this fully guarantees AVT a $15.3 million payday, man. Get that money, baby. Get that money, okay? You know what I'm saying? Listen, at SC, we get that money. Fight on, all right? Big question, though, is can he stay healthy, okay? The man's played 12 games in the last 2 seasons. 12 games combined the last 2 seasons. He's got to stay on the field, man. And we're going to see, if he can do that this upcoming season. And, again, 2025, we're going to see what's going on there because he'll be here. Now, listen, AVT is a guy that, man, he's a team guy through and through. We've seen that, right? He's tremendously gifted, right? We all know that he can play this game. He's an elite guard in this league. Then he moved around. He was at left tackle, right tackle, all over the place. He's a team-first guy, a guy that when asked to do something, he goes, no problem, I'll take care of it. Whatever I can do to help, I'm going to do it. And he famously said, listen, I don't care where you put me, just put me out on the field. He told Sulla that before, and that's what led to a lot of his moving and shaking around. So I'm extremely excited about him, especially when you get a team guy. I hope he stays healthy this season. I believe he will stay healthy this season, and I want to see him get an extension and stay here for years to come. So I've covered these topics, man. Again, we've got a lot to discuss tonight. Even Joe Douglas did an interview today on ESPN, and he spoke about a lot of things, talked about playing Olu at left tackle. That's the plan for him, but he's going to play some right tackle as well. They're going to take snaps to different positions to get him ready. Smart idea, right? This is a guy that can step in and do different things, especially when you're looking at, Tyron Smith and his health issues. You look at, the right tackle position as well. What happens with Morgan Moses going down? They're going to prepare this kid just in case he has to take snaps to certain spots. A lot of people, talking about the Jets trying to trade up for Rome Oduz. Joe Douglas wouldn't speak on that. He made a lot of calls to move up for Malachi Corley as well, but got him at 65. He was trying to trade up to 45. So there's a lot of different things moving and shaking. He also talked about Aaron Rodgers moving well, slinging the ball around. So there's a lot to discuss, man. A lot to discuss. The Jets also traded Zach Wilson, to the Broncos as well with a 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2024 6th-round pick. That was done well before the draft, but we'll bring that up. A lot of people saying that the New York Jets failed Zach Wilson. I don't agree with that, but we'll be discussing that tonight. Listen, 515-6029-639, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Again, when you call in, please be patient. We will get to everybody. Trust me, okay? Trust me. We will get to everybody, all right? When you call in, please make sure that your phone line's good. Make sure that I'll be able to hear you. Clear out your background noise. If you're listening to me, please put me on mute. I want to thank everybody that does listen to your boy, but, any crazy sounds like that, I'll have to move on, okay? Also, when you call in, make sure that you don't curse, okay, because you curse, I'll get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Faster than Blog Talk can take a dump on us, man. That was fast. I mean, come on, Blog Talk. It's great that you're working this week, but can you be more consistent, okay? We want to speak to the people. Salutes and respect to all Jets fans, all right? We're going to be taking a dump on Blog Talk all night. Listen, 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, when you call in, be patient. We will get to everybody. Trust me. First caller I'm going to, 603. 603, you're looking like a new caller, all right? 603, give me your name, where you're from, and give me your thoughts about this Jets draft, man.
Hey, how you doing? This is Bob from Vermont. I called you before.
Hey, Bob, how's everything going, man? Good to speak with you again, all right? Listen, Bob.
I saw you on Jake Asman's show, too.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, look, salute to respect to Jake as well.
You gave good points on his show, too. I think I gave them a B.
So much. Okay.
I think I give the Jets a B. Because I like the first pick, the offensive lineman. You got to protect Aaron Rodgers, keep him up. Mm-hmm. Then I like the second pick, that Shirley guy, the wide receiver you got. He's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's very good. Then I like that running back you picked up, Allen. He is going to be good for you guys. To back up Breece Hall, he's going to run over everybody, I think.
Yeah. No, listen, I thought that those picks were good as well. Continue.
I didn't know the quarterback you picked up for Florida State, but he did play Notre Dame when I watched that game, Notre Dame against Florida State last year. Yeah, he's pretty good. Now I know who you picked up. I never heard of the guy. I said I never heard of the guy's name. But I think you're awesome. You're from Iowa?
No, I'm from I'm from California, but that's the call in for my show. But listen, you bring up a lot of great points, man. There's been a lot of things, a lot of the picks that Joe Douglas made, I thought were very solid picks and filled a lot of our needs there. Especially when you look at, again, Olu being taken in the first, I thought was a great move for us as well. My next question for you: what are your thoughts about some of the trades the New York Jets were able to make? You look at that trade in the fourth round. Joe Douglas ends up giving a fourth rounder to the Lions. We end up getting a 2025 third round pick.
No, that was a horrible.
Trades that Joe Douglas was able to make.
Horrible. That was a good one. The 25, the 25 was good, but not the 26, 2026 trade, right?
Oh, for John Franklin Myers, you didn't like that?
No, that was horrible. No.
Okay. So you wanted to see John Franklin Myers stay here. Listen, I hear you, man. But I got to slide off because I got other callers. Listen, Bob, thank you for calling in. Look, man, we got a lot of things moving and shaking, man. I understand people are upset about John Franklin Myers moving on. But, like I said, man, $13 million, it clears up. Can you argue with that when you're looking at where the Jets are trying to be? Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking all callers. Next, we're going to Rusty, baby. We are going to Rusty. Callers, hold on. Trust, we'll get to everybody. We're moving and shaking. Listen, for those of you that do not know, Rusty, he's a savage. Damn, savage. Rusty, salute.
Salute, bud. Oh, wow, that UK chick got her things together for one day, huh? Good God.
Listen, Rusty, once again, we're flushing blogs. Trash.
It's a conspiracy. She works for somebody else because it just goes down the toilet when it's, during a draft or when it's important. Conspiracy. And that's a real thing. It's not a theory. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Listen, Rusty, let's get started, man. You look at this situation. The New York Jets take Olu Fashanu in the first round after trading down. Man, I got the Bowers boys. They're still in my DMs. They're upset. What are your thoughts about people being upset that the New York Jets passed on Bowers and took Fashanu, man?
I get a bucket of their tears, and I just bathe in it. I love it. Give me more tears. Cry more. We're mountain men. We understand that you need the mountains. So can't have the weapons. And, I do not feel no tears whatsoever for them Power Boys with all the ridiculous jargon they were talking and thinking they knew it. Hilarious to me. So, welcome to the men's league there, partner. It's not Madden. So.
Listen, Rusty talking that talk. I'm just listening. All right. Now, look, I've gone back and forth with a lot of people, and I talked about how
and I hate
this is not.
We got Olu.
Yeah, it's just not about this season and making sure that you have an insurance policy in case Tyron goes down or in case Morgan Moses ends up sitting down for a couple of games. You can put Olu in there, but it's also about the future, man. This guy is like the real deal, and he's going to be a guy that you're going to be able to go forward with at left tackle for years to come. And so I like this selection about Joe Douglas because who knows when we would be, this high again in the draft, especially if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy for a full season. The Jets offense is going to be ready to compete, and we know that the defense is serious business. So you're going to be a playoff team, if not pushing to win Super Bowl. So I like this move, but another move that I liked as well was the draft pick made, Malachi Corley, man. This is a guy that has a lot of Deebo Samuel comparisons from different people.
He's a dangerous
What
dagger.
are your thoughts about him being bought, man?
He's a dangerous dagger, sort of like how you were speaking of it before. So when you have teams that want to mess around and find out, we have our 2 wide receivers on the field. Then we have Malachi. So you're going to double Garrett or you're going to double team Mike. And then all of a sudden we'll have like Ruckert or Conklin in as a tight end, and we'll have Brees in the backfield. So and he's a great guy at breaking tackles. So all he has to do, you just throw it off to the side. He breaks one tackle. You have all those other guys that are double teamed and just running down the sideline. You got an easy 40, 30 yards, no problem. If he's able to break that first tackle, that's what he's known for anyway. So. That was a good get for him. I like getting Malachi. Yeah. I was happy too that we didn't get into the second because it would have cost us more, maybe a future, whatever type of pick. And I like hoarding our picks. So
listen,
you do it smartly.
What are your thoughts about Joe Douglas taking 2 running backs, man? He took Allen and Davis in this draft. I wasn't shocked by the draft of Allen because we talked about running back still being a need here, especially behind Izzy and Brees. But then he took Davis, and I was like, wow, 2 backs in the same draft? What were your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really the fan of the Jackrabbit, but if he proves it, differently, then, I'm not going to be mad about it or anything. I like Carson Steele. He was 6'1", 235, a bulldozer too. So we'll see. We'll see. I just hope we coach up that Jackrabbit. So because he likes to talk after the whistle, like after he deads people and stuff like that. And you're not in the MAC anymore, or they're in the MAC, right? The Mountain Athletic Conference.
I think so.
Is that what?
So.
Yeah.
I think so.
So you're going to be having some guys that, their defensive linemen are the size of linebackers in the NFL. So. He better be coming packing that tail and, not talk. But I hope I'm proven wrong or, I could smile more. I just like Carson Steele, but I do like Allen. Allen's just a bowling ball. Or not a bowling ball. What are those the things that they swing on the cranes in Manhattan?
A wrecking ball. Yeah, he's a wrecking ball. Listen, he's a wrecking ball. Speaking of wrecking balls, man, the New York Jets also got some undrafted guys as well that I was extremely excited about. Leonard Taylor, Tyler Harrell. What are your thoughts, man? I'm thinking Leonard Taylor's a guy that can actually push to make the roster. Am I tripping? Am I tripping for thinking that this guy could be on the opening day roster as one of our, defensive linemen? Not saying a starter, but definitely a guy that can make the roster here. What are your thoughts, man?
I like it, dude. He weighs 303. He was wrecking house. He was injured also the last 2 games of the year, so that did hurt him in that sense. But he fell off a little bit. But that's Miami for you. They're in the ACC. They're not Miami anymore, really. But they do produce, They do have their guys that do come out. But they underutilized him severely. So, I mean, he was, like you were saying before, he was a stud the year before, and he was projected to come out as a first because the one thing he can do, he blows up running plays. And every now and then he'll break those faucets loose and snag a quarterback, or he's sneaky like that. Even though I don't know how sneaky you can be at 300 pounds, but he does it.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, he plays like a kid possessed, or a man possessed, I should say. So,
yeah,
shout out to that kid.
Yeah.
And the other
man,
Hurricane, too, I'm really happy about.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
He's
For
underrated.
Real, yeah, I'm talking speed.
Oh, yeah. I think we're going to use him on the kickoff return, especially with the new rules. Oh, my God. He runs like a 4.21 or a 4.25. I think it was a 4.25 at his pro day. Yeah,
he ran a 4.28 at his pro day. 4.28 at his pro day. Yep, 4.28. And they said he ran a 4.1. He ran a 4.1 somewhere else, like a 4.19 somewhere else, and then he ran a 4.28.
That's what I was thinking. That might have been when he was Louisville. But
I think it was something like
that. Yeah. But that's there, and that's him just running against like the clock with nobody behind him or coming at him looking to kill him. So, when you get that speed mixed in with adrenaline, good God. We could have got the fastest kid in the draft, or dare I say, like, Darryl Green type of guy. Imagine that. Yeah. Imagine a Darryl Green freaking type of speed. Oh, my God.
I'm telling you.
So,
all he needs to be, he's going to get coached up here. But I tell you, man, it's going to be exciting to see that kid.
Be fun
what
to see
he's
him
going to be able to do. Man, oh, man.
Sure.
I'm telling you, that type of speed, take the top off, especially with the dynamic threats that we have. It's going to be crazy. Now, my final question for you, Rusty. AVT, man, getting that fifth-year option. What are your thoughts about it? We also traded John Franklin Myers to the Broncos. Yeah. Give me your thoughts about those situations quickly, man.
I'd have to agree with the other caller. I'm not liking it for the 6th for 2026, but I think it was part of that handshake deal of like, look, man, take Zach off our hands, and we'll throw you John for that, and then it'll help us in our salary cap. Unfortunately, I did like him. I like JFM. But then when it comes to AVT, I just hope he can stay healthy, man. Like, that's my concern. I'm happy he got his money and everything like that, but, God, that field just kills us. And him coming off of that Achilles concerns me, of course. But, he's been training with Rodgers and everything like that, so he'll be working them stem cell magic and all the other stuff, so I'm cool with it. Who knows?
Before I get you out of here, Rusty, give me your grade on the Jets draft. Give me a letter grade, A through F. Where do you think the Jets fall for this recent draft, man?
I mean, just with the certain things, I like him trading up or trading down to get next year's third. But I would have liked to get another offensive tackle later instead of in replacement of the Jackrabbit guy. I would have liked to get Mahogany. But, I mean, I'd give it a B- with the hopeful of who the heck knows. So maybe it jumps up to a B+ or into an A. Okay. But that's where I'm at.
Okay. Listen, Rusty, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right?
You got it, Joe. Salutes to you and salutes to the fellow Savages. Let's go, Jets.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, keep in mind, we're getting to everybody tonight. We're moving and shaking. The lines are hot, but I'm here to listen to everybody, okay? Next on the line, we are going to D. D, we're coming directly to you. D from the Bronx, okay? Don't get it confused. He's not from Manhattan. He's not from Queens. He's from the Bronx. Listen, D, salutes and respect to you. For those of you that do not know D, he's a savage. D, salutes and respect, man. Give me your thoughts. The New York Jets take Olu Fashanu, all right, at 11. Brock Bowers is there. They don't take him. There's other guys they could have took too. They don't take them. They take Fashanu, the left tackle. How are you feeling about it?
You know what? I like the beginning of the draft. I like the first couple picks, Joe. How you doing, man?
Okay. I'm good, man. I'm good. So you like Fashanu. You like what he brings to the table. What are you not liking? Because they also got Malachi Corley as well in the third. I thought that was a good pick. We got 2 running backs. I was a little surprised we did that. What are you thinking, man?
I don't know, man. At first I liked the Malachi pick, but then I'm like, there were so many more receivers there in the fourth round that I think could have helped us out. I mean, I think he'll be decent if they use him right. And if and only if they use him right. But we got an offensive coordinator that he can't draw plays up in the dirt.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing, and what I think is really interesting, right? When we're talking about Malachi Corley being in the building, it was crazy because the second he was selected, and I started to really study him a bit more and his after the catch ability. A lot of the things that he can do really lend themselves to a lot of things that I saw the Packers do. Okay, everyone knows I love Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones was using a multitude of ways there. I talk about those passes in the flats, RPOs and stuff like that. Screens was insane. That's a lot of what they were doing there in Green Bay. They were doing a lot of screen stuff. They were doing a lot of stuff where they would swing Aaron Jones out there. He'd be in the flats waiting for the ball. They could do a lot of that with Malachi Corley, especially, again, with his after-the-catch ability. The second that man gets the ball in his hands, he turns into a running back. And when I say running back, I'm serious. There is film of this dude literally dropping his shoulder. He's only 5'11". He will drop his shoulder and try to run you over. Like, he's physical, dude. He is really physical. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, they're literally trying to replicate exactly what the Packers were doing, a facet of their offensive game. And I like that because I think that's going to help Aaron Rodgers. Look, I get it. Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback, but the man's 40. He's 40. He can't drop back, like he was when he was 25 and throw for 350 a game and launch the ball down the field 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna be what we're gonna be doing. Now, can he do that? Yeah, he can still get it done. But you're asking him for that game after game after game. No, I think we're gonna become a team that's more about ball control, more about running the football, right? Especially with our front being sewed up the way that it is. And we're also going to get those easy completions. We're going to set up that screen game. The team starts to really hunt and look at our running game trying to shut that down because we're trying to hand the ball off to Brees. Well, you bring that boy Corley out there, get a little package going, you get it out into the flats, and now that can supplement your running game. We saw the Patriots do that for years against us in the East. There were years where they didn't necessarily have the greatest running game, but they would get White or whoever else, move them outside, hit them with the flat, and then boom, that play goes for 7, 8, 9, 10 yards first down, stuff like that. Or it would set them up for second and short, third and short and things like that. So yeah. I like it. I like the selection there. I understand why some people, have their questions, but it is what it is. And again, that two back to me again screams we're going to be running the football. But what are your thoughts, man, when you look at this situation? I saw John Franklin Myers, get traded, man, to the Broncos. A lot of people saying it's a salary cap dump. How are you feeling about that, D?
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Did you look at his stats? I mean, he only had 3.5 sacks last year.
Yeah.
He had 3.5 sacks. So people don't know this started weeks ago. You know when it started? When we got Hassan Reddick. And he knew that he was no longer starting. Mm-hmm. He was no longer going to start. So that's when he knew he was ready to leave. Mm-hmm. So, and the reason why we didn't sign, what's the name that we brought in from Baltimore? What's his name? From Baltimore, the DN. A few weeks ago, but he went to Carolina.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Go ahead. The name is in my brain, but I can't. Go ahead. But what are you saying?
Well, anyway.
Jadeveon Clowney.
All right. So the difference is
Jadeveon Clowney.
The reason why he didn't sign with the Jets is because they told him he would be behind Franklin Myers. That's the real reason why he didn't sign. Mm-hmm. But once we got Reddick, that changed. He knew that he wasn't starting anymore, and he wanted out. Mm-hmm. But to me, honestly, they got a few more guys that I think that can play that role. Hopefully the rookie from last year can play that role. But for $55 million and 3.5 sacks, that ain't cutting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, listen, I hear you. Like I said, extremely expensive. Listen, D, before I let you go, give me your grade on the Jets draft. Give me a letter grade, A through F. Where do you think the Jets fall for their 2024 draft, man?
I give it a B-, man. This guy trading. Meanwhile, there is so many good players that we could have had in the fourth round. The only good thing that came out of that is that we get the third round for next year that we probably use as trade bait anyway. But the other times, I don't know what Douglas be doing. I think he'd take a Henny break, man.
Okay, listen, D, I want to thank you for calling in. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in again. When you call in, please make sure phone lines are clear and good to go. You know, make sure that you mute your background noise. Please give the stream a thumbs up as well. Okay, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Next, I'm going to Dwayne. Dwayne, I'm coming to you. Val, Ted, Tommy, Phenom, Brick, I see y'all. I'll be coming to y'all soon. All right, very quickly. But we got to go to Dwayne because Dwayne has got a lot to say. He's been on the line for a minute. For those of you guys that do not know, Dwayne, he's a savage. Dwayne, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in. Listen, Dwayne, I want to start at the top with you, man. New York Jets take Olu Fashanu in the first. A lot of people are upset. They wanted a playmaker. Some people wanted us to trade up. I got the Bower Boys in my DMs screaming that we should have took Brock Bowers, and it was idiotic for us to take a backup tackle. What are your thoughts, Dwayne?
Hey, drop the ether beat real quick. All right? Hold up. I got you. Just imagine the ether beat playing right now. All right? So this is my thing. Okay, so the smart choice was Fashanu. Perfect. I give you that. They didn't fall for the whole, hype thing and get Bowers. That's fine. From there on is a confusing draft, and I think what happened is Joe Douglas has been micromanaging this cap situation, and that's why he just kept trading back all those valuable assets all the way into the fourth, into the fifth. And I give him that for trading the fourth for the third next year. That's a boss move. I give you that. But trading back to Mr. Irrelevant and all that, oh my God, it's like they didn't have the money to make a great draft. You know what I'm saying? That's what it really seems like, especially with his sentiments after the draft. As far as the players themselves, after Fashanu, which is a great pick, Corley is weird because he's not a plug-and-play player. If San Francisco would have traded Debo and drafted Corley, I'd have said that's a great pick. You're picking that up for Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett can't coach regular receivers, much less a specialty receiver, like a guy who has an absolute talent that is very specific.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What were you going to say?
Here's the thing, and I hear you, Dwayne. First off, you're coming in hot with fire takes. I understand what you're saying, right? But this is why it's so important to have Aaron Rodgers. And I talk to people about this, why Olu Fashanu is so important to the New York Jets. Is not only, if you have Aaron Rodgers on the field, not only is he your best player, right? But he's also your best offensive coordinator. There's packages that they can put together, right, specifically for Corley, the same way that I saw them do a lot, with the Packers, with a lot of their weapons as well. There's packages that you can put together to utilize this. Nathaniel Hackett, he does have a challenge ahead of him because last year he was awful. He was awful. He was terrible. But the other guy that helped him put this whole system together, and y'all can go look this up, he literally helped put the offensive system together, is Aaron Rodgers. So I think they're going to game plan and put a lot of things around. And the reason why I think that this is important, and I'm talking about this now, is because I believe that the New York Jets will be more of a power running team this upcoming season than they have been in the past, because I think they want to go away from having Aaron Rodgers have to throw 300 yards a game at 40 plus. It's just, that's not realistic, right? It's going to be more about ball control and game management for him. He's going to be the elite game manager. He's definitely going to he has the ability to torch you. We all know that. But I think they're going to run the ball, and then when teams want to come up and try to do some things to stop the run, they're going to change that pace, They're going to get Corley out into the flats. They're going to utilize a lot of RPOs and screen games and stuff like that. And that's where I think he's going to excel. So that's why that pick makes so much sense to me. That's how I think they're going to utilize him. I do question Nathaniel Hackett because he is a questionable offensive coordinator. Okay, we all know that
for sure.
But that's where I think he's going to be utilized. And like you said as well, he has things he's got to work out. I'm right there with you. There's things he needs to polish and get refurbished. But that's why he's going to get coached up. But that's where I think he goes. But you talked about the rest of the draft, and I want to get your thoughts on that. Allen Davis, 2 running backs. Was there a big question on that for you? Also, even like Quantez Figures coming out of the CFL, he has no college background. Where do you think he'll fit within the defense, man? Just give me your thoughts on that, man.
Okay, so Braylon Allen sounds like a good change of pace back. The double running back thing was weird, but I guess they really need a pass-blocking running back. I guess that was their thing. But Braylon really, I feel like everything is based on the scheme. So Braylon Allen, if he's the second down running back or something like that, and he's really putting in work on these linebackers, he's going to make a difference. I remember with Sean Green. Remember the long run versus the Chargers where he broke that safety's tackle?
Yeah.
The safety didn't want to hit him. I don't know if anybody ever noticed that. The safety was like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. And then he got his tackle broken. That's what happens with guys like that. That guy is not only 235. He's a brick. Dude has like 18 abs. He's going to, you know what I'm saying? So I like that change of pace. I like that he could block. I didn't know Izzy was that bad that they're drafting 2 running backs to cover his non-pass blocking. But the Jordan Travis, man, I think he has a lot of potential. Well, it's different when you don't have the greatest, gaudiest numbers, but you're winning. When you don't have the greatest, gaudiest numbers, but you're winning, it means you have some serious in the pocket, great movement to avoid the sack and help your team win. I think he has that, even without the development of Aaron Rodgers. He's going to take something from Aaron, of course. He's going to take something from I forgot the other quarterback's name. From the Giants. Tyrod Taylor. So I like that pick. Like I said, the second running back thing, I get it, but I just wish they didn't waste it there. And then Quantez, I will definitely say I see him being on this team for at least 2 years, and I think he has a future on this team. The reason why I think is the CFL field is very wide. He covered that field enough, and he didn't just play like a corner, by the way, but he covered that field enough to get 5 interceptions. He was very dangerous on that field, and he's 200 and something pounds. That lends to free safety capabilities. You know what I'm saying? He was not just a guy that was like playing off the ball and baiting the quarterback. He read the ball in the air. It was like a sense. He understood his zones, his coverages so well that he didn't just get picks from the guy he was guarding. He was taking picks from other quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So that looks special to me. But for him to go to the 7th, I guess people just don't have that kind of confidence in the CFL. So I feel like he could be on this team. He reminds me of Pennick a little bit, that Pennick situation. And then, Mr. Irrelevant is Mr. Irrelevant. That's about it.
What are your thoughts about John Franklin Myers being traded to the Broncos for a 6th-round pick? I know that there's some Jets fans that are extremely upset about that. How are you feeling about it?
Oh, God, that's a loss. I don't think people understand. It's a loss because it's not how many sacks he had. It's that defensive end that can stop the run and kind of push the pocket, keep the running back in a good zone for the linebackers to take over, take care of that. That's not an easy position. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't go on the stats, but it's not easy. And now we kind of got who is going to rely on now? I think it's going to be Jermaine Johnson. Am I right?
Michael Clemens within that rotation is going to have to be a guy that steps up. I know we got Kinlaw as well in the building. Look, Michael.
Okay.
Listen, Michael. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just telling you who's on the roster. Michael Clemens is the guy that's going to have to step up. Michael Clemens is all right. He's got to clean up those penalties and those fights and the emotional nonsense that he was doing last season. If he cleans that up, I think he can be all right. But he's a guy that you got to look at and say, hey, you better step up in this rotation.
But when he gained that weight, he was moving like Rick Ross, man. I was like, oh, like why you move like just that weight? He lost all flexibility.
Listen,
like, I just feel like his technique disappeared.
Yeah. Maybe Tanzil Smart. Maybe we'll see a Tanzil Smart.
Yeah.
We all like Tanzil Smart. He's a guy. Right. Hector as well. They brought back Bruce Hector. You know what I'm saying? So he's a guy that can make it. But I'm looking at Michael Clemens and I'm saying, listen, you got taken in the draft. At some point, you got to do something. But continue. Go ahead.
I think we're going to have some early season blues with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Salah can fix it throughout the season. I've seen him do it. So I think by the end of the season we'll have that pretty much situated. I hope, to be honest, I hope Jermaine Johnson can take over that spot. Because he's not a small guy. You know what I'm saying? And then his capability is he can actually do that and rush the passer at the same time. So that's an upgrade if we can get that. And then I hope the guy we drafted last year, I hope he can go in there and be on the right end and then, be a starter. Because he wasn't terrible against the run, even though he's small. You know what I'm saying? So that could be an improvement for all we know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting going forward. Before I let you go, Dwayne, give me your thoughts, man. AVT gets the 5th-year option. How are you feeling about that? And then give me the letter grade for the New York Jets draft in your mind, A through F. Okay, so AVT getting that 5th-year option, of course, the guy has tons of Pro Bowl potential, so yes, absolutely. I hope Joe fixes the whole cap situation. I think he will. I think the cap will increase next year. That's my only worry about that situation, but of course take the 5th-year option. And then the grade for the draft, I'd give it a C+. It can increase to an A. I'm talking about all the way to an A. They figure out what to do with Michael Corley. If he becomes Debo light, now we're talking about an A draft. So that's how much of a difference that makes. Okay. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in, Dwayne. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. We're going to keep moving. These lines are hot. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, when you call in, be patient. We'll get to everybody, okay? My hold times are not long. We're moving and shaking. We're talking about this draft, and we are having discussion. We're going to go, we lost Ted. Ted, please call back. Ted was next up. Hopefully we get Brick back as well. We lost him. But we're going to Val, baby. We're going to Val. The circus has begun. We'll come to you. Tommy Phenom, I see y'all. Y'all be coming up soon, real quick, all right? But we got to go to Val, and we got to have this discussion. Listen, for those of you that do not know Val, he's a savage. Val, salute and respect. I want to thank you for calling in. Listen, Val, a lot of things moving and shaking, man. Olu Fashanu taken in the first round. We had, Corley come up. They moved up and got him in the 3rd, man. Give me your thoughts about what you saw from the New York Jets draft. What is the player that you like the most out of the draft as well?
Joe, listen, salute, Joe. Thank you for having me. Listen, salute to all the savages out there, man. Hold on, before we even touch on the draft real quick, somebody is gone from the roster now. Thank you to the Denver Broncos. Thank you to the Denver Broncos for fulfilling my wishes, and now the quarterback room looks so much better. Oh, my God. Aaron Rodgers, Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Travis. Oh, my God. Yes. Listen, we've been through some hard times. A hard 3 years. But let's get on to the draft, man. Listen, I'm going to be honest, man. I wanted Brock Bowers, man. I wanted to see Aaron Rodgers, he would have probably just got the ball out of his hands fast and stuff. We could have survived that, Joe. We could have survived that. Forget about Tyrod Smith having his injury history and stuff like that. You know, he would have had the ball out fast. We could have possibly went to the Super Bowl like that. No, I'm just saying. But, no, this Oli was definitely a great pickup. That was a great pickup, the most safest pickup. You know, listen, we have injuries on this offensive line. ABT, as great as he is, you know, he's injury prone, you know, as well too. You know, hopefully he stays healthy this year. Glad we picked up that fifth-year option. Tyrod Smith, you know his history and stuff like that. I don't understand how people are arguing this. Like, this is something that's we needed. We needed the offensive line. We went a decade with terrible offensive line play, and everybody just look at when we went against the Buffalo Bills, and we had a quarterback had a rib injuries because he basically got spared, and he had to go, he had to get out of the game and stuff like that. Aaron Rodgers went down and stuff. You know, when we was talking about, you know, a lot of people were saying that, you know, Aaron Rodgers is going to get the ball out of his hands fast, and he ended up getting injured in 4 plays, you know. So it just shows you we got to build up that offensive line. Yes, it's not the sexy pick. It's not the pick that everybody wanted. I understand. I even wanted the wide receiver as well, too. But I am so happy with the offensive line because now I feel secured that, you know, Breece Hall's going to get his touches, and he doesn't have to worry about getting blown up or the pocket get blown up and stuff like that. We actually have some legitimate offensive line now. So I'm happy about that. Corley, man, I'm looking at his tape. He's looking like a Debo Sanders. He's looking like a Golden Tate and stuff. That's what they're comparing him to. That man's going to run through somebody, man. He's going to have some highlight plays. He is not a person that's just going to be on one-on-one and they're going to just tackle him easy. No, he's gonna definitely run over some people. We need somebody with some grit. And, yes, I definitely did hear the one of the callers, they was basically saying that, listen, we have an offensive coordinator and Nathaniel Hackett. I understand that. I could definitely agree with that because we got to depend on him actually utilizing his weapons. So we got to wait to see how that plays out to play, you know. But hopefully, you know, that we have a real offensive coordinator in here, which is Aaron Rodgers. So hopefully things can actually work out and stuff so we can actually get some, you know, some plays to go. But other than that, man, Jordan Travis as well, too. I seen some of his film. I'm like, man, this man is a playmaker. I don't really watch college football until we start drafting our guys, and that's when I start looking, or I will look at particular games. But, man, this man, Jordan Travis, what a beautiful pick. And he just reminds me of Tyrod Taylor, to be honest with you. Without the little bit of the arm strength and stuff, he needs something to clean up, and, you know, he needs some passes to clean up. He's definitely an elite runner. He can run. He's not going to be hesitant to run. He can get the ball out of his hands fast. He's actually a dual threat, you know, and he just, you know, if he sits for 2 years, I think he would definitely pick up on a lot. You know, he plays a little bit of hero ball, but he definitely cleaned that up, I heard, in his 3rd to 4th year and stuff like that. So, you know, hey, he's going to be 26. He's 24 years old right now, so he has 2 years to learn. You know, hopefully, you know, everything is up and going by that time and stuff like that. Hopefully we have a ring by then. So, you know, hopefully he can just pick up the reins, and it's good that he has a good veterans in Tyrod Taylor and Aaron Rodgers so he can pick up on and pick their brain and stuff. So that's perfect.
Yeah, I thought it was a great pick as well. And again, Joe Douglas has talked about it, you know, wanting to turn this place into a quarterback factory like the Packers. You know, where we've seen the Packers take Mark Brunell, they took Brooks, they took Hasselbeck, and those guys, they were able to coach them up and groom them to a point where, you know, when they needed them, hey, they could be utilized, but they went other places as well and were able to kind of flourish in the league as well. So to me, that, again, that opened the door, and Jordan Travis being in the building, he has a lot of ability, like you said as well, a lot of plays. He's just coming off that broken ankle, that surgically repaired ankle. I'm just hoping that it, you know, heals again. I don't think there's a timetable being put on him, but I think it was Joe Douglas talked about it. That's what I heard.
He might be ready for training camp.
Yeah. So
and
it's going to be
going back. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, just going back, just looking at his film, you could tell he had a lot of pressure. He's playing against big schools. That's something I did not see with Zach Wilson. That was the problem. That was the red flag that I had. So he's used to having pressure in his face, and he's throwing that ball out. So he's not going to be hesitant. That's the thing that I would love to see from a quarterback that we're picking. So he has that recognized, like he's going to recognize that in the NFL, that he's not going to be hesitant or be scared or not confident. This man is a playmaker. So definitely can't wait to see what he does, in the future, but not now. I hope we redshirt him and do that. But, go ahead. What would you say?
Now, Val, you talked about Zach Wilson. I know you're glad that he's gone, but there are some people.
Yes, I am.
Dan Orlovsky came out, and this is the guy that played quarterback in the league and was very high and is still very high on Zach Wilson. And he said, listen, the way he looked at it, the New York Jets failed Zach Wilson. They put him in a position, in a situation where, he couldn't succeed here. There wasn't a lot of things that he could hang his hat on, especially, the offensive coordinator situation. There's a lot of issues about the Jets not utilizing him up to his potential as far as, trying to maximize on his strengths as a player. And there's a lot of people screaming that the Jets did fail. I even had the discussion. There was a lot of Jets fans saying that the Jets failed.
What are
your thoughts on that, man? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so all right, so this is my problem with that. Okay, everything is not on Zach Wilson. I will say that everything is not on Zach Wilson. Of course, we have a head coach that is questionable as well too. But I would say, who was the last coordinator? LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur. Listen, when Zach Wilson sat out, the offense actually flourished. So when Zach Wilson got back on the field, it was just stagnant. You know what I'm saying? So it comes to a play that I think it's really the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You have two, LaFleur, like Mike White, he actually flourished. He actually, scored some touchdowns. No, we didn't win as much games as we were supposed to, and scoring was a problem, but at least the ball was moving. At least the teammates was getting behind him. At least, have you even seen any of the teammates say, oh, man, Zach Wilson wish you well and everything? No, you haven't even heard that. You haven't even had a post or anything, So it just comes from the leadership and stuff like that. But I will say it wasn't all on Zach Wilson. I will say, how can I say? Zach Wilson, he needs to, he was picked too high. I feel like he was picked way too high. He was 1 year off of the COVID situation. And you can't say, I would say we failed Sam Darnold. That's the person I say we failed because he had no offensive line or no weapons. He had no weapons and he had Adam Gase as a head coach. So it was no, it was no saving that. You know what I'm saying? So he
that was the triple up.
From a yes, that
was the triple death
that
blow.
Was the person we failed. Exactly. This man had Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. He had, a great defense. We're always good with defense, but Sam Darnold didn't really have the defense at that time and stuff. But, we had a lot of pieces that he could have actually worked with. But it just comes to the point that he couldn't do checkdowns. He couldn't pass.
Yeah.
He had talent when it comes to passing, but he was very hesitant. The player had to be very open for him to actually, flourish and stuff. But it was just, it was just a lot. It's just, he wasn't even scoring in preseason. And that was my thing right there. I was just like, how is this man the second string and he can't even score in preseason, man? Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
4 games and can't even score a touchdown. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, everyone has their own takes. To me, the Jets did quite a bit. Joe Douglas definitely invested in the offense.
They beat them too.
Invested in the offense and did a lot of different things. It just, it didn't work out. I'm going to just leave it at that. It didn't work out. There were some things that you could, place, especially coaching. Yeah, coaching-wise. But there's a lot of responsibility on Zach Wilson as well. And things didn't, it didn't pan out as clean as we all hoped. But, hey, Zach gets to go to Denver and get a fresh start. We get capital back. We get a pick, and we're going to move forward. And I wish Zach Wilson nothing but the best. I have no ill.
I wish him nothing but the best as well too.
Yeah. So now as we continue on, my final question for you, man. AVT getting that 5th-year option. USC boys, we get that money. Okay, we get that money, baby. That's what we do. You know what I mean? if you know one thing, you know we're going to get to the bread. $15.3 million guaranteed for 2025. Give me your thoughts on AVT getting his fifth-year option there.
Oh, yeah, man. Listen, I think it was like a smoke screen of Joe Douglas saying that, oh, yeah, we don't know if we're going to give him that fifth-year option. You want to make it, optimistic of what our moves was going to be in the draft. I already knew he was going to get that fifth-year option because, listen, that man, when he's on the field, listen, the stats goes up. The stats speaks for itself, and, the production is there. That man went from right tackle to right guard. You put him anywhere, and he flourishes. The only problem is the injury situation. But other than that, when he's on the field, he's very, he's very good and stuff. We just got to make sure we just have him at his right position and, just take care of him and stuff. And, he just got to take care of his body. But other than that, man, I also had a question for you real quick because I know you're on Blog Talk because Blog Talk decided to come back, from vacation.
Hold on. Blog Talk, you're trash. Blog Talk is trash.
Brandon Rice, man. Yeah, I seen your boy Brandon Rice. Rice was on the board for a long time. I thought we was gonna actually pick him up because when we was trading back a lot, I was like, oh, we're gonna actually pick up Brandon Rice, but that just never happened. I'm surprised he fell like that. Was it something that I didn't know about or anything that you could share?
I always thought he would go in the mid rounds, in the later mid rounds, but he went to where he went. Listen, I think he's going to be really good to wherever he goes, or going to be really good with the team that he's with. He has a lot of really solid traits. 50-50 balls, he's going to go up and get them. He can move. He's not a burner, but he can move, and his route running it's solid. Of course, he's going to clean things up when he gets to the league. And his father is Jerry Rice. Let's be serious. He's going to have coaching upon coaching. Yeah, like he's the real deal. But I'm excited for him, and I hope he flourishes. I hope he flourishes on his team. So yeah, it is what it is there.
Okay.
But listen, Val, I gotta slide off before I let you go. Give me your draft. Give me your letter grade for the Jets draft A through F. What are your thoughts on it, man?
I'm gonna give it a B- or a B for sure. I think we definitely did a good job. I wish we could have at least picked one more like wide receiver or even a offensive line in that mid round and stuff for us, trading back and stuff. But it just seems like they was thinking about salary and they was hell bent on the people that they was gonna actually pick up and stuff. So other than that, I say B- to a B for sure. They did pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Val, next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right? Good text.
Absolutely, man. And make sure you have a good one. And salute to all the savages. And anything that he says at the end is collusion.
Please. Listen, Blog Talk works this week. Knock it off. Blog Talk is actually working this week. So I can prove anything that I say about Val is the truth, all right? I can prove it. It's actually working. I'm shocked, all right? We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, when you call in, be patient. Trust. We are getting to everybody, all right? It's a 2-hour show, but trust me, we're moving through callers. As y'all hear, we're getting a lot of great takes from a lot of people, a lot of different takes, and I'm here for it, all right? Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking our callers. Next! I'm going to Phenom. Phenom, I'm coming to you. Tommy, you will be next. All right? Phenom. I know he's got some takes for us. For those of you that do not know Phenom, he's a savage. Phenom salutes. We're going back and forth. We're talking about the New York Jets draft. I got the Bauer boys upset with me. They're not very happy that we took Olu Fashanu. It has not stopped, okay? Give me your thoughts about Olu being taken in the first after the Jets, made a move and traded down. And what are your thoughts on this Jets draft, man?
Well, first, shout-outs to you, Joe, and the Savages. We talked about this pre-draft. You had a pre-draft show, and we were on the same accord, man. We should pick our alignment. So one of the Jet content creators was talking about, who are your top 10 picks before the draft started? If you were in the GM seat, who are your top 10 picks? So I made my list of my top 10 picks, who I would draft if I was in the position of 10. So I had dreams of maybe having Marvin Harrison. He was my number one on my board. He was gone. Neighbors from LSU was my second guy. He was gone. Joe Alt was number 3. He was taken in the process. So when the Jets are now moved down to 11 and have Olu Fashanu on the board, this is not a puzzle. I'm seeing this very clear. Some strange happenings going on above us. Michael Penix being taken, and Latham was taken after Joe Alt. So and so I had J.C. Latham as my ace pick, but he was gone anyway. So I wouldn't have been able to take him. So I'm eyeballing my list. I'm saying, it's Olu right now. It's been Olu for a while. He's been arguably the best tackle, second best tackle in this draft class. So this is not a puzzle. This is what it was supposed to be like. This is not fantasy football, but if we do it like fantasy football, that's what it looked like to me. You know what I mean? I'm scratching off names. I have a list. I've done the research, and I'm picking the guy that we did the research with. We've seen his film. We know he's going to be improved. He's an exceptional run blocker. Exceptional pass blocker, and he has to work on his run blocking. So, but you can do that, and the position he's going to be in, he's going to be hopefully, best case scenario, he'll have to play 6 games or something like that. He won't have to take the load from the 4th snap on. You know what I mean? Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So it worked out well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, this is about protecting Aaron Rodgers and making sure that Aaron Rodgers stays upright, for this entire season and not get blasted like he did last season. Now, I love the pick of Olu. I loved it, right?
Yeah.
He's who I wanted. I talked about him. I talked about Fuaga as well, but he was the guy that I thought the Jets would take, and I like the pick. Now, a lot of people are upset, with Malachi Corley. There's some Jets fans that don't like the pick of him. I think it's a solid pick. I like what he brings to the table. What are your thoughts about what he brings to the table within this Jets offense, being a guy that can be a monster after the catch? I look at him and I think the screen game for the New York Jets is going to be insane this upcoming season. Do you agree, man?
Oh, absolutely. But let's look at how it happened in the draft. You got to know we have no second round pick. All the talkers, and we agree with it. We need a weapon. We have to have a weapon at this point. So we go to the second. We have no second round pick, and we're picking at 72. So now, we need to get a weapon. We trade up. We get 65 with Carolina.
Yep.
And now we have this the Yak King. Now I saw him in the Senior Bowl. I didn't really do any real research, but there's content creators out there that did know him. So, but I went back and found out he almost had 1,000 yards in Yak in his career. Are you kidding me? That's bananas. Do you know what that means? So is he a little? Does he have that Inspector Gadget thing going on? Yeah, he's a little gadgety, but he can also run a slant and go. And he's not so much reminding me of Debo either. He reminds me sort of like Antoine Bolton. He's knocking guys down. He can high point the ball. He's not a big guy, so he's like a halfback in wide receivers clothing. So he's gonna if he can run you down. So, like I said, if Mike Williams comes back, there's a place for him on this offense, and we haven't even started to talk about what the tight ends definition he's going to be with these teams, because we have three pretty good ones. Your Boa and Conklin and then the other
Rucker.
Ohio Stater. Right.
Yeah, Rucker. Yeah.
So it's taking shape. It's taking shape. But and then we get then Joe Douglas, after he wheels and deals with that, and then he starts. This is where the draft does get unorthodox, and I was confused. But you get a third-round pick in the 2025 draft. Now, I hear you guys. You guys have said it. There were people out here that we felt like it could have improved the team. Agreed. No question. But we did get that third-round pick coming back. And we did get some more resources.
Yeah.
So you know, and it was kind of strategic. We didn't get the second round pick, but we went to the top of the third round. So they literally said, we're going to move here, and then we're going to pick the top guy on our board. And that was Malachi Corley. So I think
I'm telling you, the way that Joe Douglas worked the board, trading up to get Corley, but his trades down I thought were phenomenal. When you look at he was able to move from 10 to 11, ransom J.J. McCarthy, say, hey, listen, he told the Vikings, listen, unless you do something, then the Broncos are going to take this guy. All right, so I suggest you do something right now. You better give us some value, or maybe he's in a Broncos jersey. I know you don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to really, like Debo people, and again, even getting a third-round pick for a fourth-round pick was insane. Like the value that he was getting, I thought is great. And again, a lot of that stuff is going to show up in the future. A lot of that could be trades up. That third round pick from 2025 could be packaged in a trade up to move up and grab some guys in this upcoming draft that they value, or just stand there and grabbing another guy in the third, I think would be valuable for us. But we talk about this draft and what they were able to do and what they were able to bring, especially with Corley. But there's other guys as well at the bottom of the draft. Quantez Figures is a guy that really is intriguing to me because he has no college experience. He's coming out of the CFL. What do you think he'll be able to do within this Jets secondary, man?
Well, first of all, the story is just so you want to root for a guy like this. Or let me make an I statement. I want to root for a guy like this because he's not taking no for an answer. He was playing the league. It was like indoor football he was playing, and then he was dominating there. Then that sets him up to go to the CFL, and he's like rookie of the year in the CFL, like the most improved player, something like that. Come on, man. There's guys that came out of the CFL. Warren Moon played in the CFL, guys. He didn't win a World Championship, but he was looking at his stats. And Doug Flutie, he was the man up there. So there's guys that go into the CFL and come to the NFL and made a good name for themselves. Maybe that's this guy, you know. So I'm rooting for a guy like this to make the team. I'm looking for a guy like this to make an impact, and the Jets do know how to develop defensive talent. So. What he might not have in his game, he could easily get it from the guys that are on the field or the coaching staff for the Jets. Now, offensively, that's not always haven't developed great offensive players yet, but even that we're starting to see is slightly shift, because I don't care what anybody says. Coaching improves when you have better talent. That's why the Olu draft choice made so much sense because you have a quality offensive lineman. That's like in the shoes of DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Mangold, and guys like that, and even further back like that, Marvin Powell and Chris Ward and those guys. Historically, the Jets have been really good when they've had high draft choices on the offensive line. Check it out.
Listen. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Nick Mangold, it's there's a reason why, that Rex Ryan team was, competing and pushing and got to 2 AFC championships. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just all smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying?
No,
there was guys up there handling business. So before I let you go, Phenom, AVT gets the fifth-year option, man. We talked a little bit about the offensive line. What are your thoughts about that?
AVT came on the scene, and we just hope he stays healthy. We want to see it on the field now because if he's able to stay on the field, he has, this could be ground and pound part 2. That's what we want to see. That's what this is. That's what this is. This is starting to get the feel of, because why would you draft another running back? I mean, this guy Davis is no slouch, and we didn't even talk about Braylon Allen. Forget it. He's pretty good back too. So maybe that's where this is leaning. So in case of the reason why you have this depth is because of in case of injury. So again. Let's see how this plays out. Our receiving core looks a lot better. Our offensive line looks better. The tight ends could, we could have. I don't think Conklin's going to go for 1,000, but he could have 800 yards and whatever
he
else
could be very
close.
Yeah,
so
he could have 1,000. To be honest with you, he has 600 with spotty quarterback play. He could absolutely have 1,000 with Aaron Rodgers. Listen, before I let you go, Phenom, give me your letter grade A through F Jets draft quickly. What are your thoughts on it? A through F. Definitely a solid B, because the undrafted free agents haven't even shown their face yet, and there's guys that could make the team from there. So solid B, Joe. Thanks for always putting out a good product, man. All right. Absolutely. Thank you so much, and thank you for calling in. Listen, we're gonna keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in, and when you call in, be patient. We're getting to everybody. Next, we're going to Tommy. Tommy, we're coming to you. Maxwell, you'll be next. Hold on. Listen, for those of you that do not know Tommy, he's a savage. Tommy's a savage. Listen, Tommy, salutes and respects, man. Listen, we talking draft. Man. Give me your thoughts about the Jets draft, man. Olu taken in the first. You had Corley taken in the third. We got 2 running backs. You had Allen taken in the fourth. How do you feel about it, man?
Well, I give you a big salute to you, Joe. You got your guy. You were rooting for this person throughout the whole draft process. Olu Fashanu, that's your guy. And tell you the truth, I like what you were saying. I didn't want to go tight end. I definitely want to go tackle. We had to, because look what we have. We have 2 great tackles, but they're coming off an injury and they're injury prone. And Fashanu, I would not be surprised if he starts week 1. The people we have right now, are they going to get through preseason and training camp?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm just saying this is good. This is good insurance, and look to see him. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but look to see him start week 1, because this guy, you know how Jets are. You put on a Jets uniform and look, you get injured. I mean, that's just the way it's been, man. But congratulations to you, Joe. You got your guy, man.
Thank you.
Honestly,
listen.
Joe, I wanted to trade that even more. We could have traded that even more. I mean, Fuaga, he was, like you said, he's nasty. And if we could have traded that and got some real assets, second-round assets or something like that, I mean, Fuaga could have, we could have made him work. He could have fit in too. I mean, I only took Fuaga because you got Fashanu. I don't want the same guy, No, listen. Fuaga is phenomenal, and I talked about him as well. He ended up going to the Saints, and I personally think that the New York Jets did right here. I understand, people like yourself as well. There's a lot of people that say, "Hey, trade down more." I think that would have got a little bit dangerous with the Raiders. That was the one team I did not want to play with when it came to moving past them, because I really felt like the Saints and the Raiders, would be looking to take an offensive lineman. Now, the Raiders did end up with Brock Bowers, who I think is going to really flourish there. I think he's going to be a good player for them. But I don't know, man. I feel like if the Jets would have moved past, maybe down below the Raiders, oh, boy, I don't know if Olu is still there at all. And especially when you look at the teams that probably would have moved up for Olu,
You know, I hear what you're saying, and I wanted more capital as well. We already hoard more draft capital. We all want that. But getting that 4th and that 5th, you know, from Minnesota, just sending them a 6th-round pick, I think Joe Douglas did right, okay? Don't put too much dip on your chip, Joe. And I'm glad that he, you know, said, all right, I'm going to take this guy. But I hear what you're saying as well. I would have loved to get more capital, but I'll take that and take my left tackle that I believe is going to be able to play for the next 10 years. And, like, look, I get it. Fuaga, a great player. I wouldn't have minded us taking him either. He's a guy that's going to be successful. And like I said, he's with the Saints, and he's going to be doing his thing there. Now, you talked about, you know, Fashanu and how, you know, we're really thinking that things are looking good, especially keeping Aaron Rodgers upright. And like you said, there's a chance, you know, he could be playing a couple games this year. We know Tyron Smith struggles with health. You know, Morgan Moses has been dinged up before as well. But give me your thoughts, man. Corley taken in at the top of the 3rd round. Joe Douglas trades up and makes the move for him. What do you think that he brings to the offense, man? There's a lot of people that look at him, and there's a lot of different comparisons from Golden Tate to Deebo Samuels. I've talked about, you know, he's got some Jarvis Landry in him. What are your thoughts about what he brings to the table, Tommy?
Well, listen, he was talked about on your show multiple times, and this guy is a yak guy, and what he brings to the table is something that we can't do. We can't get in the end zone. We cannot. I mean, that's the way it seems. And now we have a yak guy, the yak king. And we're going to get him the ball. He's going to battle it through. I mean, we're in the red zone. We can't score. I mean, now, you know, hopefully we got a chance with him, you know. And it's a phenomenal pick. You know, number 11, Fashanu. Number 65, Corley. Phenomenal picks. I am right. I went to bed with a smile and woke up with a smile. You know, that was phenomenal. I mean, both days. You know.
Yeah. No, listen, I hear you. Also, John Franklin Myers gets traded for a 6th-round pick. There were some Jets fans that were upset about that. Tommy, were you?
Well, I think John Franklin Myers the trade was in conjunction with the Zach Wilson trade. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about that. Yeah. Go ahead. A lot of people talking about that. Go ahead.
I mean, I guess nobody wanted. Nobody was big on Zach, and we found somebody that would actually take him. And the way it was presented was the save face for the Zach on the first trade, and they didn't reveal the second half of the trade until. I guess halfway through or 3/4 of the way through the draft. I guess that's for, to keep things in secret for both teams, to see who knows which direction each team is going to go. I dig it. But he was this guy, John Franklin Myers, he didn't get a lot of sacks or anything else, but he did the dirty work. We had top defense because of him. He was out there, he was taking the heads off of these blockers, man. He was taking, and we were taking away some big blocks throughout every time he's in. He just keep going and going and going. It's a rotation, but every time he was there, he was great. We got a few penalties, penalties from him, like everybody else. But hopefully, the penalties slow down.
Yeah,
that could be one of the reasons why he departed too. But also, Joe, I mean, how many times is JD, going to restructure deals? I mean, you keep restructuring. You keep kicking the can down the road, and eventually you get to a dead end, man. You get to an alley, and you're like, there's nothing you can do. He had no option. We had to get rid of him. It wasn't cost efficient.
Cleared up $13 million. Like you said, you keep swiping that credit card. Eventually, bro, you got to pay that bill. Like, you can't keep swiping that card, man. You got to pay that bill, man. You can't just keep using it and not,
Yeah, we still gotta get a dead cap hit from them. So something worked out. I think it's big. It's a multi-million-dollar dead cap hit from. But okay, we moved on. We saved a little bit here, a little bit there. But well. Getting back to the draft, so I was big. I was so big on the first 2 picks, But it comes to a point, he starts trading. everybody's big with that trade with the Lions for the fourth round to a third round.
Yeah,
pick
for the third rounder.
So,
yep.
Well, we're in win now mode, and you know what win now means? It means win now, today, this year, and you got to keep. I mean, of course, everything's good to have, but if we're in win now mode, I think just Joe at that pick on 126 in the fourth round, he just didn't see the value there for the next player up on their board, and this is why.
And that's exactly what I was thinking as well, and that's why, like I said, I understand people saying we're in win now mode, but you have to keep in mind that Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be here another year, if not 2 years. That third round pick could really be utilized in a package to trade up and grab somebody big in this next upcoming draft, or to trade for a player. Right, we've seen really good wide receivers go to other teams for second or third round picks before. I remember he was trying to package a second and some third round picks for Tyreek Hill before Tyreek decided that he was going to Miami, and that could have been huge for us if we would have grabbed him. Even though we're fine now, Joe Douglas is constantly willing and dealing, so you don't have to throw everything away to do that. Now, listen, it's been a phenomenal call. Before I let you go, give me your letter grade A through F. For the New York Jets draft, quickly, give me your letter grade. What do you give them?
I'm giving it to you, but can I just explain why I'm going to give it to you? Cause I'm explaining. I gave it AA. All right, the first two picks AA. No, first two picks AA. But the second two picks were mediocre, and the last three was garbage. We could have, you could have got most of these guys, as undrafted free agents. I was not happy with the last three picks, and you know what, Joe Douglas was trading. He was trading away like a drunken sailor, man. He was just trade and trade. I mean, I'm like, what are you doing? He gets to a point.
Tommy,
no pun intended.
Listen, Tommy. Yeah, I want to thank you. No, listen.
My full letter. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen. I hear you, Tommy. Again, thank you for calling in. It's been phenomenal to speak with you. Tommy talking that talk, I respect it. Okay? I absolutely respect it. There's a lot of people that weren't necessarily happy with some of the last picks. But we got to keep on moving. The lines are hot. Again, 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next! We're going to Maxwell. Maxwell, we're coming to you. Tim, I see you. We're coming to you very, very soon. But we got to get some thoughts from Maxwell here. For those of you that do not know Maxwell, he's a savage. Maxwell, give me your thoughts quickly, man. The New York Jets draft. What was your favorite player that the New York Jets took in this recent draft?
I like the Fashanu pick. I thought he was a very good pick for the Jets. I think this was the best and only good pick in my opinion, because I feel like the Fashanu pick, we needed offensive linemen. There were maybe a couple good picks, but I was not a big fan of this draft. I didn't really like the Malachi Corley pick. I think we should have taken Brendan Rice. And my reason is that I think he's more. I'm not saying Malachi Corley is a bad pick. I was shocked Brendan Rice fell on the board. Malachi Corley is a good receiver compared to Deebo Samuel. I wasn't that bad. The thing I was pissed off about was two running backs. Why would you take two running backs? We have Breece Hall and we have Izzy and Mercado. Even if he wasn't that good, Izzy, it's not like you needed running back that bad. And I didn't like the Stickers pick either. I thought that was a dumb pick. I think one of those picks we should have passed. We should have maybe taken Brendan Rice. I think he would have been a good fit for this team. He would have been good with Aaron Rodgers. He's played with Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams was one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He threw a really good deep ball, and I think he would be more adjusted because Aaron Rodgers likes to throw deep, and Brendan Rice can also throw deep, and Aaron Rodgers can throw a good deep ball, and that. But he's also good with screens. I remember he's ultra athletic. I'm not saying but I feel like Brendan Rice is going to be good with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm telling you what, he, like you said, man, I think Brendan Rice is going to ball on the Chargers, especially with Herbert out there, big target. He gets to stay on the West Coast. We know you're SC boys, so I think he's going to work out there. I was a little shocked, not shocked. Like I said, I think he was going to go in the mid rounds anyway, but he did fall a little bit. I think he got taken in the 7th round. I think it was to the Chargers. I think it was something like that. Yeah,
so 225th, and I was pissed. I was the Jets could have gotten him 4 times. I don't know.
Yeah, but hey, it is what it is. But I personally do like Malachi Corley, and I think it's because of the scheme fit of what we're going to be doing here. If they utilize him, correctly, and again, Nathaniel Hackett, we'll see what he's going to do with that. If they do some of the things they did with the Packers with him, I think he'll be a big-time success here. Now, Maxwell, what are your thoughts about people saying that the New York Jets failed Zach Wilson? There's people out there talking about that as well. We know we sent Zach Wilson to the Broncos. What are your thoughts on that?
That's complete bullshit. I think that's the most bullshit thing ever.
Watch the language.
I think it's complete. I do not think it's true that we failed. I think Zach Wilson failed himself being arrogant. He was like, oh, he thinks he's the best quarterback ever. Come on. There was this press conference 2022. Oh, did you let the defense down? Zach Wilson said no. If I was the quarterback, I would have said yes, I would have let the defense down. If I played a bad game, I'll be like, oh, I let my team down. I mean, I do not think – we could talk about a quarterback that the Jets definitely failed was Sam Darnold. I mean, I don't know if people watch Sam Darnold. I mean, he had potential. If we didn't have Adam Gase, I think he would have been – I'm not saying he would have been top 10, but I think he would have been a decent NFL quarterback. So I think the Jets failed Sam Darnold, but I do not think they failed Zach Wilson. He was just powerful for years, in my opinion.
Listen, I hear you. And, again, I want to thank Maxwell for calling in. We got to keep moving. Again, 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, when you call in, please watch your language. This is a family show, okay? I will move on from you. Watch your language. You'll get a warning, but don't get crazy because I will get you up out of here fast, okay? Next, we're going to Tim. Tim, I'm coming directly to you. I know Tim's got some takes for us. For those of you that do not know, okay, Tim, let me tell y'all, he's a savage. Tim,
what's up,
I want to thank you for calling in. What's going on, man? Look, we're sitting down here. We're talking Jets draft. Olu Fashanu in the first round after trading down. There's some people that are upset about it, some people that are, happy about it, like myself. Where do you fall in line there, Tim?
I'm all about it, man. All we've been talking about, you and I, for the past 2 years. We need offensive linemen. We need depth, and they did well in the offseason, picking up all those guys that they picked up. John Simpson and Tyrod Smith. But like you said, you can't really trust, Smith to really play a full season. And, Pittman, I think, is the future at center. And now we got this young man out there on the left tackle. I guess he's a left tackle, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, he's a left tackle. And I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know if you have a headset, Tim, but if you could kind of correct your situation, you're kind of going in and out. Listen, I'm really looking at the situation. Yeah, hold on one second. We'll come back to you in a second. Listen, I definitely think that we'll see Olu Fashanu played at a lot of different spots, but mainly left tackle is the plan for the future. Joe Douglas even came and said that. Are you good now? Did you correct? I couldn't hear you when you said that.
Yeah. Am I clearer now?
Oh, yeah, you're much clearer now. Yeah, I think we'll see. He's a left tackle, right? He's going to be our future left tackle. But I think, again, Joe Douglas came out in an interview today and talked about how they're going to give him some snaps at right tackle as well, as camp and all that other stuff comes up, and maybe other positions, just in case. Again, that's that AVT insurance as well. If he can slide in there at guard and play solid at guard, I think they'll try that too. But it gives us great insurance and depth along the offensive line, like you were saying as well, which is big on keeping Aaron Rodgers upright. And again, he's that insurance policy, which is a great thing here. And then, again, he's our future, once we move on from Tyron Smith, or if things don't work out, we're trying to bring back Morgan Moses or whatever happens, you know what I'm saying? But what are your thoughts about Corley, man? Corley being taken in the third round, Jets moved up to the top of the third and grabbed him. What are your thoughts about him coming into the building and what he brings to the New York Jets table offensive-wise?
He's a running back, right?
Yeah, he's a wide receiver that plays like a running back once he gets the ball in his hand. Yeah, he's a complete monster, the Yak King. That's what they call him. Once he gets the ball,
Yak King.
Is gone, man.
I heard somebody describe him as basically Isaiah Pacheco if he was a wide receiver.
Wow, yes. So, you know what? That is listen, we've talked about Deebo Samuel, which I think I understand that. Golden Tate, I'll talk about a little Jarvis Landry in there. But Pacheco, if he was a wide receiver, yes, that is a pretty good description. Now, I'm sorry, Tim. Go ahead. That was really good.
Yeah, because he just, and that's not my take. I was, boning up on my, my post-draft analysis with all the other pundits online, but I thought that was a really good comparison as well. And because Pacheco runs really strong, really downhill, really angry, and that's basically what they were saying about this guy, except at the wide receiver position. And if you look at a couple of his clips, you can see it. I mean, there was one clip I watched where he caught the ball out like in the flat, started up the sideline. The defensive back was basically flush with him, like right in front of him, square, and he just ran him over. He just ran him over. Like he just ran over his chest, right over his entire body, and his legs were moving the entire time, and then he just got separation and took off. So, I mean, I mean, you want to add somebody to the offense with Mike Williams and Garrett Wilson, perfect addition right there, because he's gonna pick up maybe some of those tough yards, you know what I mean, on the shorter routes that if we need short yardage, we need, between 5, 7, 8 yards. That's the guy, man. Get it out to him. And then once you start to prove him in those areas, that's going to force the defense to pay attention to him, and then Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams over the top.
Yep. Yeah, listen, Tim, that was a beautiful take there. Another guy we've been speaking about as well, Jordan Travis, quarterback from Florida State, man. This is a guy that has big playmaking ability. There's some things he needs to work on, as far as his arm strength. But what are your thoughts about what he can do coming in here as far as, being the guy that Aaron Rodgers can hand it off to? I know he's coming back from that surgically repaired ankle. We'll see, when he's able to get out there. But what are your thoughts about him and what he could bring to the table in the future for the Jets?
Honestly, I don't know much about him, but I'm imagining that, if they're getting rid of Zach Wilson and bringing him in, there must be an element of consistency there, kind of like what you would see with like Brock Purdy, maybe not somebody who's, setting records, but somebody who can run the offense on a consistent basis and make all the plays, and maybe just has better sight of the field. You know what I mean? Understands the full playbook, can execute it, and that's precisely what they were missing in a backup with if they were to keep Zach Wilson. I like Zach Wilson. I've always been a proponent of his because I feel like he has a great arm, but they could never get him to absorb the full playbook. And therefore, his offensive ability was completely handicapped because he would just have to go to the same two people because he just didn't have that depth of understanding. So if this is a guy that they think that they can bring in, have Aaron Rodgers, teach him, how to see the field the way he does, and he has the capacity to do that, at least in some, sort of rookie respect, then, I'm pretty comfortable with that because I want a guy who can come off the bench and, not skip a beat in terms of what we're trying to do offensively. He's not going to have to light up the world, assuming, that we can keep our main man on there for more than 4 plays this year. That's the other thing, too. It's all contingent on that. All this other stuff is just blowing smoke. Like, if he can't stay on the field, it doesn't matter how good our defense is. This backup guy is not going to be able to do it, I don't think, in terms of, like, getting us deep into the playoffs. But, I'm just praying to God that Aaron Rodgers stays on the field this year. I'm praying to God. Every year around this time, I break out all my Jets gear, start to wear it with pride. I just going around town, feeling myself a little bit. You know what I mean? And the hype is real, and we'll see what happens.
Yo, listen, I'm hoping that he, man, with everything that we do, to me, it points to, keeping Aaron Rodgers healthy. Even the 2 running backs, that we took, I think, again, we're going to be leaning heavy on the running game, and that's to take, the opportunity or take the happenstance of getting Aaron Rodgers hit. You're starting to minimize that quite a bit because you're handing the ball off, and then you're bringing guys in that are going to be able to run some things, quick screens, RPOs, stuff out to the flats and Corley. So I'm looking at it, man, and I'm thinking that a lot of things that we did, especially taking Olu, a lot of it is concentrated around keeping Aaron Rodgers healthy. But I want to go back to Zach Wilson because you were talking about them not being able to get him to absorb the playbook, and there were a lot of issues, and we all saw that. What do you say to people that believe that the Jets failed Zach Wilson. Dan Orlovsky came out, and salute and respect to him. I like Dan Orlovsky a lot. Came out and talked about how he believed that the Jets failed Zach Wilson within his development.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think a lot of the responsibility should be put on Hackett too for not being able to adjust the game enough for Zach. And then another piece of that too is that people don't realize our offensive line was iffy, right, for the past couple of years, right? So they probably couldn't execute the entire breadth of the wide receiver game as well as even the run game and the slot game and pretty much all the game. So, it was a combination of things. Hackett couldn't adjust. Zach Wilson was too green. We couldn't open up the playbook because we didn't have the protection. And, in some cases we did. In some games our protection was good, but not always. And then the other part of that was Zach not being able to, I don't know, maybe have that je ne sais quoi or that, that talent that you need to kind of make something out of nothing. But I wouldn't say that we totally failed him. I just think it was a victim of circumstance, like we didn't have anybody to throw to except for Garrett Wilson pretty much that whole time.
Yeah.
And so if they doubled him up and then, the run game was obvious, it's all downhill from there. So I do think people saying that we failed Zach Wilson is fair to a certain extent. But there were also many games where I could see wide open passes for Zach that he didn't make. So it definitely goes both ways, and I think it was a combination. I wouldn't go all the way down the road on one or the other, but I definitely think that it's partially that for sure, and partially Zach
last
Wilson's
take before we wrap up, Tim, because this has been a great call from you. AVT gets his 5th-year option. We also send John Franklin Myers to the Broncos for a 2026 6th-round pick. What are your thoughts on those situations, man?
I don't know, man. I'm not really understanding why they got rid of Mekhi Becton and then gave AVT a 5th-year option. That to me is a little bit strange.
Well, hold on. Break that down for us, Tim. I know what you're saying, but I want you to break that down for us because I just want to hear your take.
I don't know. I mean, they must be just you know what it is? I think it might come down to character and who they liked more versus who they liked less. There's always been a lot of controversy with Mekhi. AVT has always been seemingly, at least, he was adorned the prodigal son there on the offensive line, even though he spent the majority of his career on the sideline so far. And that's what's interesting to me. It's like you're going to pick up his 5th-year option, but he's basically been off the field for 2.5 years almost, and it's like, and then you let go of Mekhi Becton, like who showed that he could work back from an injury and be an elite, left tackle. And I see a lot of people talking a lot of smack about Mekhi Becton, him not being good, this, that, and the other. Go watch the tape, dude. Right? That's what I say. Go watch the tape. The guy is an absolute animal. And the only reason I think any of the offensive linemen failed is because there was just too much constant pressure on them because we couldn't get the ball down the field. And so I thought that was really interesting because I know you've always liked Mekhi Becton, and I was curious how you felt about that too because I feel like that was a little odd. What was the second part of your question?
Yeah, look, JFM getting traded for a 6th-round pick. I want you to finish up, but I do. It's crazy. You're the first person tonight to bring that up, and I just wanted to, I let everybody, get their takes out there. But I've had discussions with maybe 1 or 2 other people that have kind of said something akin to what you were saying, where they said, hey, listen, Mekhi Becton spent time on the sidelines and he was often injured, but ATV's been injured the last 2 years, played 12 games total, and y'all don't say nothing about it,
I know.
And listen, and I'm listening. I'm just here to listen, okay? Mekhi Becton, listen, I liked Mekhi Becton. I was hoping he could work himself, back this year. He was looking good until the ankle injury, and then things just fell off the road. I understand the Jets are moving on for him. I wish him nothing but the best. He's now signed to the Eagles, I think a 1-year, $5.5 million deal, if I'm correct. I wish him nothing but the best. And I think the Jets are going to get a top pick back for him. I'm not sure if that's been cleared yet, but I wish him nothing but the best. But everybody knows I love AVT as well, but he has to show this year that he can stay healthy. Because if he has another big injury and only, plays 4 games, next year, 2025, is going to be a big big deal, because it's like, hey, when can we count on this guy to be on the field? But it's that was a very interesting take. But I'll let you finish up, Tim. We're getting a little short on time, but I want to hear from you.
Yeah. And even, so John Franklin Myers, love the guy, real dog, awesome player, awesome teammate. But I get it. We got plenty of defensive guys at this point. We have so much depth at that position that I understand it. It could have been just a business move, like the one guy said. It could have been, part of the trade with Zach. Whatever. I mean, it's fine. The guy's going to get paid. Mm-hmm. I like him. He's happy. He posted that he was really thankful to be a Jet. He didn't seem too bitter by it. I think we're straight at that position, so that's my take on that.
Yeah. Listen, Tim, this was a phenomenal call. Again, that take, I really like you challenging that take of $15.3 million. But I also think that Mekhi Becton and his relationship with the front office also played a role in that. Don't forget, he came out and publicly blamed them for his injury in that article with Bob Glauber. Okay, he did do that. He 100%. Did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking fact. Listen, Tim, this was a phenomenal call from you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right.
Absolutely, always a pleasure, Joe. Have a great night, man.
Absolutely, have a good one. Listen, I'm just here to listen. I want to hear everybody's takes. All right, everybody's takes. Let's go back and forth and have that discussion. Woo! What a show. Listen, I apologize to anybody that dropped off. I only lost like maybe 2 people. I apologize. We're moving and shaking. A lot of calls tonight. A lot of great discussion surrounding the New York Jets and the draft. It's a phenomenal show, man. I want to thank everybody for calling in. And again, as y'all know, we're going to keep these shows going, but we're getting short on time, so I got to get up out of here, all right? Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. And also leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show, all right? Your boy's also on Twitter as well. All right? Going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, or follow me, Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Also, for those of you that are on Twitter, all right, when you follow me, I'll follow you right back, and no issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge if you want to troll me, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, all right? Man, I can't wait this season. I feel like he's going to come back and be ultra healthy, and he's going to dominate. I know he got that 5th-year option. He getting to that money, okay? Let me tell you.
Here we go.
We get to that money, okay? He getting to that money, 15.3, all right, in the pocket for 2025. All right, that boy AVT, serious business, all right? So if you want to troll me, we down there, all right? And we'll troll you right back, me at ATV. Also, your boys on YouTube, okay? Come on over to YouTube, all right? Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know. Also, give the stream and the videos a thumbs up. And if you want to troll me, get in those comments and troll me and go back and forth. You see, Blog Talk is hating. They finally working, okay? Blog Talk finally works. Now they want to hate on your boy, all right? Listen, when you see me in person, because you will see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing. I'm going to thank everyone for calling in, interacting. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. Any way that you fall in with your boy, any way that you interact with me, I want to thank y'all. Without you folks, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to call in, to interact, more hate, to interact with your boy. Until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace.